This is the Dirshu Mishnah Berurah as we continue learning Hilchos Shabbos. We're in the middle of Simin Reish Mem Beis, and we'll call this the second part of Reish Mem Beis. We began the Simin, the Sif, in the previous year and continues the Mechaber. So let's remind ourselves we're in the middle of discussing Kavod Shabbos, Eining Shabbos, and the Mechaber taught that even one that needs others, if he has a little bit, he has to be Mezarez Lechabed Es Shabbos. And the concept of Asri Shabbat Chachol V'Titzarech Labriyos is only for someone that the Shah is the Chukalai B'Yoiser. We're on the second page over here. Al Kain, therefore, is Samsei Mishar Yamim. One should be mitzamseim, one should be very frugal the other days of the week, a day in order, lechabed Shabbos, in order that he has a little extra money for Shabbos. That's really the part A of this sif. So we have one more Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah Sivkat in Gimel teaches us, L'misha ashad chukalei b'yoiser. As we turn over, says the Mishnah Berurah Umayri, we're discussing, Kishein loy mashkin ois aleim. Teaches the Mishnah Berurah, before we go and we take money, we should take a mashkain and borrow money. Ubeloi mashkain ein yachal lahasig, and you can't get a halva alone without the mashkin. Why are we discussing that? Says Mishnah Berurah, you certainly have to take a loan not to be mevatel on Shabbos. Moshav Chazal, Shemer Kadosh Baruch Hu beni Banai, levu alai vani pareya, lend on me and I will pay for you. Now it's interesting. Shartzian over here, Shartzian Oisian Beis points out that the guy in his mashman abachas felt well. If you have to get a loan, you have to be beitech and Hashem that you'll be able to pay it back. But quotes the Mishnah Berurah, but there is the kina mashma to lo yilveh. Now it's important, Shartzian, because when you read the Mishnah Berurah, it sounds like if you could take a loan, you have to take a loan. Why is that so important? Because we live in a world of credit cards. Credit cards, for all intents and purposes, is a loan. So the Shartzian is cautioning. No one should say, okay, I'll just keep on swiping, keep on taking loans on my credit card, and Hashem will pay back. We have to be responsible. One has to be aware what is the limits and how much, etc. Sivkot and Dalit and Mishnah Berurah k'nei lekabed es Shabbos. A very important Mishnah Berurah. Says Mishnah Berurah, when it comes to money for Shabbos and Yontif, if you add on, then HaKadosh Baruch will give you more. Hashem determines each and every year how much money we're going to make. One should be careful. Don't spend too much. Maybe you won't have all the money to pay for it. But one doesn't have to be worried, hey, how am I going to pay it back? Hashem says, you spend money on Shabbos, I will make sure you pay it back. Continues the Mishnah Berurah with almost a sidebar din. Lovin beribis l'chsudas Shabbos l'chsudas mitzvah. You're allowed to borrow with ribis. What does that mean? Obviously, only in permissible fashions. Another din says Mishnah Berurah, if someone sends you food for Shabbos, don't eat it during the weekday. Kain cost of Sefer Chasidim. And like one said, Tavi said Dalid. That if an ani is given food from the local collection for Purim, the ani is allowed to switch and use it for something else. After Gavul Tzarech Purim, even though it was collected for Purim, however, Gam Shamish Machmir Bezeh and Ayin Betur Sham. So before we continue to the latter half of this sif, which is going to discuss other dinim, let's take a moment to see a few of the Dirshus. Dirshu over here, note number 18 points out that you have to borrow money. Sarach Lilvais, Kadei Shaloitis Batel, Memitzas Einik Shabbos. Explains the Dirshu, note number 18. The Kavanah says, Avol Pisha Shad Chukalai. It's going on the person that has no money. So he's potter from that third suda. And we said the first step is not to take tzedakah. And the first step is to only have two sudais and not come on to tzedakah. But says the Mishnah Berurah, Mikol Makayim, Im Yachol Lahasig Halva, that's different rules. Then chayiv lo bais k'lekayim it's mitzvahs achilas gimel sudais. We'll see more of this later in Simin Reish Sadi Aleph. And the Shartzian that we read together, that said Akol Lefia Inyan, explains the Shartzian. The Ramnising Krelz explains that even according to the Gain that says once you take a loan, the Gain was not makel only if you're able to, but you're not allowed to take a loan just to buy a Suda Shleima. You can't be irresponsible. Now, this is a famous Ramnising Krelz. Now, if we learn just the Mishnah Berurah, one might think I could buy as much as I want. Hashem's going to pay it back. So this is Karel. It says, you see from the Shartzion that obviously everything in moderation. It's totally in your level of Tachain. That if someone is Baiteach with a Munah Shlema, then Eina Chanami. You can buy as much as you want, but it can't be more than that. And that's the sheet of Nissi Karelitz. And again, how much one could spend is a discussion, but definitely one could overextend themselves at some level a little bit for the sake of Shabbos. So we continue note number 20, and which says, someone goes and spends more than he's able to. Says Rabbi says Berurah, this could cause big issues. And he adds on, they don't see what's happening. So firstly, the Mishnah Berurah is cautioning, and this is in general spending. This is not on Shabbos. When it comes to Shabbos, Shem says, I'll pay you back. But regular spendings, one has to be careful not to spend too much. And if the Mishnah Berurah's time had this issue, all the more so nowadays. Continues that the Kohen in his Zigeris writes, "V'tichbar as a Shabbos me'oid k'shahayu lefnanai v'al klal." When it comes to Shabbos, then you're allowed to spend and rely on Hashem. This Avtach was only said regarding things to buy for Shabbos, but to buy things for other excessive reasons, says Rabbi Yashiv, this Avtacha does not exist. So Adam kidei chashmal v'amayim Shabbos. Okay, generators and whatnot. This is an Eretz Yisrael. The Ishmu says in this in Krelitz. They're all included in Shabbos. Similarly, the heat and the air conditioning, sometimes people feel it's so expensive. Realize it's a Shabbos expense, says Rav Yash. If you do this if you're doing that to be Machal Shabbos, then it is included, etc., etc. And King Kazim Sefer Chasidim, and then we said you should not use your Shabbos food for the weekday. The leftovers, it says Shaliach Lenu B'Yom Chol Ella Yitneim Lebnei Beis, so you give to someone else. Okay, a little bit difficult exactly what this means. If someone gives someone food to eat on Shabbos and he already has that amount, the Sefer Chasidim writes, that he shouldn't eat it during the week, then you can't. But I don't think anyone is usually makbid in our world. In Avada, people are happy for one to eat it whenever they need it, etc., etc. We go back to the Mishnah Berurah and we go back to the Mechaber. We conclude the Mechaber as the Mechaber teaches us, Mitakonas Ezra. We're still on Erev Shabbos to Gedina, and there's another Takana. Thursday is laundry day. Why? So that on Shabbos you should have clean clothing. Continues the Ramah. One should have one. We have the minhag to need dough for the sake of challah. Bayis lasmus mem lachamim. Soyan leim b'Shabbos yantav. Who mekavet Shabbos yantav ein l'shanos. Yesh akasu mixes mekamas nagulechem oliyasa, which is pashti. V'shkav b'Shabbos Shabbos echlaman. Says the Ramah, we don't have such a minhag. We continue, and the Mishnah Berurah Sivkat and Hey, Mipnei, Hainu Kadeshe Levanim b'Shabbos. You have clean clothing for Shabbos. Avaloi be'erev Shabbos. You shouldn't do laundry on Friday. Kadeshe P'niyun l'Sasik B'Sarchei Shabbos. You have to deal with other Shabbos needs. According to this, Sarch Lizayer Sholelich B'Cholik Achad Echad Kama Shabbosais. Why Kadeshe L'Zavar Al Tekanas Ezra? You want to have clean clothing for Shabbos. And obviously the place can discuss, what if it didn't get dirty? There's no reason just to wash things for no reason. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Hainu, the kneading, the baking is a kavod. That's one reason. Why? Mitzvahs challah. Mitzvahs challah, lefisha abdas adam arishain. Shaya chalasei shel adam Olam Adam Rishon, which is called the Challah of the world, who has created Nivra Erev Shabbos. He lost a part of him through the Aver with Chava on Erev Shabbos. So to be talking that, we bake Challah. Before he gets that in, we'll just point out, anyone wants our Sefer on Challah, please reach out. We'll happily facilitate in sending over Challah's loved topic, and would happily share to send over a copy of the book. Just reach out, send me an email, and we'll send over a Sefer. And we continue. Let's say during the week you eat paspalter, which we mentioned parenthetically, most of the kashrus agencies, OU, Starkey, etc., all their mezainis products, unless it says Pas Yisrael, is paspalter. Paspalter is commercial baked bread, which is kosher, and you're allowed to eat it. There's a chumrah not to eat it, and here's a Mishnah Berurah that not many people know. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Mikol Makom b'Shabbos Yontav Nachayin Lizayer. Doesn't say it's aser. He says it's proper to be scrupulous. Lo lachal kim Bas Yisrael, only to Bas Yisrael on Shabbos, because of they cover Shabbos Yontav. Upashit. Demu honors if it's an einish ein loy amalikadesh kim pasal in a Yehudi, then of course the soldiers yachal kadesh alav. Finally, this dish, which is machos l'malu l'mata batal, that the man was covered with tal v'avzem b'chasem basar bein tabe isa v'larisim and kamasenu aminag lachla. Mishmur says that we do have such a minhag. We wrap up the shir with a few more quick Dirshu. Note number 25 says the Dirshu, this is Davka Begadim, which is on the body, like your undershirt, etc., which gets dirty, and therefore you have to make sure to wash it. It says of this in Krellos, but outer garments do not have the same concern, and that's, as we mentioned, you could wear the same garment in multiple weeks as long as it is not dirty. Regarding laundry on Friday, says in this in Krellos, it is ulcer. Why? That's the kind of that we just read was to do it on Shabbos. Me'edach comes on the Arlet Tzion. Rabbi Tina Bashol writes, it's mutter. Chaim Pitchel Sheinrich says, and nowadays, in the winter, you start dealing with the Friday preparations of the Lel Shishi, so already Thursday night, you should not be dealing with your laundry. But now, obviously, what everyone is wondering is, 1 second. Laundry in the house of the Chavetz Chaim is very different than laundry nowadays. We have washing machines. So regarding a washing machine, says the Arlet Tzion, the Tircha Bazeh is not so much, still. Taliyas HaKvisa, hanging up the laundry, is part of it, and that's a tircha. So too, Rav Sheinberg says the same. You're not allowed to hang up the clothing, etc., etc. Why? That's part of the laundry. However, if you have a dryer, and then you're not hanging up the laundry, says our Letzion, it's not a problem. You're allowed to do laundry then. Whereas Rav Yashiv argues that it's still usher. Why? Because we cannot change the minhag. Similarly, Rav Nissin Karelitz says the same, that we cannot change the minhag. And he adds on, should not even wash clothing of children, etc. Rav Sheinberg says the same. One should not do laundry on a Friday, even with a washing machine. Whereas comes along Rav Shem Zalman Arbach, and he says there's another reason to do laundry on Thursday, not Friday. Why? Because we're not rug lechabes litzayrech shimush b'isa hayoim v'mekavis yom shishi yachshushu meichin begad me'erev Shabbos la'achrei Shabbos. It would seem that you're preparing. It doesn't even look like you're preparing for Shabbos. But finally, the Dirshu cautions little kids, 5, 6-year-olds, says Dar Litzion Lamaisa Avad, you're allowed to wash them. Solter Nisik Karelitz. If you have nothing else to wear, you're allowed to wash them. Kafachayim says the same. And that is the halacha. And it's important to note that one should not be doing laundry on Friday. Now, if you're doing laundry for Shabbos, which again is just an important caveat, sometimes people have so much clothing, you're not really doing it for Shabbos, you're just doing it because it's the good time to do it, then it is not the right thing to do. And finally, in note number 28, we said that you shouldn't wear the same garment many times. But regarding the shayla, if one is obligated to wear davka, laundered clothing, or it's enough to have clean clothing, they bring Vishen the Chazanish and the Sefer Chochani. Even if you look Shayu B'Shavzi Yantav Smuchan Zelazah, and you have clean clothing, Chazanish was marked with it changes clothing in the Yantav L'Hapach L'Gadim L'Chubasim Davka. When it's Karel's explained, the reason is the Mishnah Berurah that he said you should not wear the same thing many Shabbosais. Yesh Leimer Shemash Shakas Shabbosais means Shavuos. However, the Arlet Tzion writes that no, there's no reason, and you're allowed to. And Chaim B'Shachlami says the same as long as it is clean. And I guess we'll say when it comes to like dry cleaning and the like, sometimes people don't like to necessarily launder the same item many times, and then therefore there would be room to not have to do it, and it would be a covered Shabbos as long as it is clean. that is Kovid Shabbos, that is Einig Shabbos, and Shul Suspend on Shabbos, not to do laundry, make sure to bake challah, reach out if you like a book, and finally to be careful that if you're going to do laundry, it should only be that which you need for Shabbos.